You know the exact feeling. You walk away from a conversation feeling drained, vaguely insulted, and entirely confused, struggling to pinpoint a single, overtly regressive thing the other person said. This confusion represents the intended result of a highly specific psychological dynamic. Covert toxicity relies on plausible deniability, operating beneath the surface to extract an emotional reaction from you while keeping the aggressor's hands completely clean. To counter this, we are going to build a three-part tactical response framework. First, we will diagnose the hidden logic driving the behavior. Second, we will deploy specific verbal scripts to de-escalate the tension. Finally, we will map out a clinical exit strategy. Before we start the first step, I want you to pause and bring one specific, recent, frustrating conversation to mind. Keep that specific person and that specific interaction in your head as our live test case. Replacing the emotional fog of that encounter with a rigid framework removes the very leverage a hidden manipulator relies on. Let's look at the mechanics. Step 1 involves diagnosing the specific engine driving your test case. We need to evaluate the discrepancy between how this person presents themselves and what they are actually trying to achieve. Typically, we are dealing with one of two distinct profiles. Look at this diagram. The covert narcissist presents pseudo-humility above the surface, hiding a relentless search for glory beneath. Conversely, the passive-aggressive hides pure aggression and sabotage beneath a visible layer of compliance and delayed action. Because both of these profiles use visible behavior as a disguise, reacting to what they show you guarantees a loss. You have to bypass the mask and respond strictly to the hidden objective beneath the waterline. This chart outlines the commoditization of human interaction. The covert narcissist hunts for narcissistic supply, needing you to affirm their hidden grandiose fantasy. The passive-aggressive hunts for sadistic supply, using you as an object to be actively frustrated for a sense of power. Look at this clinical case file for Mike. When asked about therapy, Mike uses overtly arrogant language, claiming he is too clever and educates only those I deem worthy. On the surface, this sounds like pure covert narcissism. However, the decisive evidence proves Mike lacks the fundamental engine of narcissism. He has no fantasy left to protect. His arrogant language is a red herring. He uses verbal violence as covert sabotage to frustrate his therapist, hunting sadistic supply. Identifying the specific supply your test case is hunting for removes the personal sting. Their attack is a structural mechanism of their disorder, rather than a reflection of your worth. Step 2 requires deploying scripts designed to starve the manipulator. The only reliable way to handle these interactions is to actively deny them the specific psychological resource they are attempting to extract. For a covert narcissist seeking validation, use the neutral reflection script. I hear your perspective on that. You acknowledge the words were spoken, bypassing agreement, defense, or praise. The mirror stays blank. If you are dealing with a passive-aggressive seeking to frustrate you, deploy the accountability anchor. Moving forward, we will need this done by Tuesday at 5 p.m. Does that timeline work for you? This removes all emotional reaction and corners them into a trackable commitment. Because these personalities rely entirely on the supply you provide, cutting that resource often triggers an immediate escalation. They will likely increase the tension in a desperate attempt to force a return to the original dynamic. Hold the silence and refuse to justify your request. These scripts act as conversational circuit breakers. They cut the power to the dynamic, preventing your daily energy from being siphoned away. While verbal circuit breakers offer temporary protection, enduring emotional recovery requires a structural change to the relationship itself. Look closely at the final clinical directive. Whether you are navigating the seething grandiosity of the covert narcissist or the explosive minefield of the passive-aggressive, the clinical reality remains the same. When identified, no contact remains the optimal policy. In personal relationships, applying this directive means designing a steady, unyielding path towards zero physical and zero emotional contact. You withdraw your presence entirely. In inescapable professional settings, shift to a documentation-only communication style. Limiting interactions strictly to written records enforces rigid boundaries that keep you safely outside their blast radius. Establishing physical and emotional distance provides the only medically sound resolution to a deeply toxic dynamic. Your tactical response framework is now complete. You possess the diagnostic tools to see beneath the mask, the verbal scripts to deny them their supply, and the clear clinical directive to build a permanent exit. You are now an objective observer, equipped with the structural knowledge required to watch their hidden chaos unfold without letting it trigger an emotional response. Today, identify which profile fits your test case and practice your specific script out loud. Build the physical muscle memory so the words are ready the moment you need to hold the line. True boundary setting aggressively reclaims jurisdiction over your own peace of mind.